What's up, traders? This is Vee Trades, and today I will be doing a technical analysis breakdown for MicroStrategy Incorporated with the ticker symbol MSTR. I will first be going over what I see on the daily chart and finish the video off with the weekly chart. This video is for entertainment purposes only. Please trade at your own risk. So let's take a look at MicroStrategy's chart today. It is dropping. People are getting scared, but there's no reason to be frightened, and I'll go over the reasons why. First things first, I think you should check out my video I did on my channel back last year on April 29th, 2024. Bitcoin's price at time of recording was right around $63,000, and I interviewed Jeff Booth, author of The Price of Tomorrow, which is a book I read. It's a great book, very important if you like Bitcoin and you are buying MicroStrategy. You have to understand what Bitcoin is and why it's important and why MicroStrategy is doing what they're doing. If you understand that, then you reduce your risk substantially, because knowledge decreases risk. If people buy something they don't understand, then the risk is high. If you buy something you understand well, the risk is very, very, very low because you understand it. So look at this video. You'll really understand what's going on in the world. The natural state of a free market is deflation. That's Jeff Booth's motto, basically, which means that prices should be going lower over time. Because technology gets better, price should get lower over time. It's easier to manufacture 1,000 eggs and give it out to the public than it was 100 years ago. So that means that the egg should be cheaper to sell to the public. But why don't we see that? It's because the system we live in is inflationary. It's a debt-based monetary system, yada yada. And Bitcoin changes things because it's a free market. So everything related to Bitcoin will drop in price, which how it should be. So what does that mean for MicroStrategy? It means that they don't have to do anything, just hold Bitcoin, and they will increase in price over time because everything relative to them will drop in price because they own the Bitcoin how it should be normally. So if you just hold your money, then things should get cheaper over time for you, which should make sense, right? Because technology advances, the entrepreneurs want to lower costs, they want to give more value, so things should go down over time, which Bitcoin represents. So it's not necessarily the dollar going up against Bitcoin. It's just it costs more dollars to buy one Bitcoin. So you could value Bitcoin by the dollar, but technically it's costing a lot more things in the world to buy one Bitcoin because it's a free market. So let's take a look at MicroStrategy stock. Make sure you guys check out that video. Make sure you guys pick up that book. So what does it do? What is the stock doing? Well, it's still okay. I mean, it's pulling back towards the support level of about 365, which was anticipated because this was the measured leg up, one leg up right here. So if the bulls were able to create this size of an impulse, they were able to do it again. And that's exactly where price reached, right around the high 300, low 400 level before price was, people are taking the profits. So this is a profit-taking level, and short sellers are entering more positions at this level as well. The thing about this is that it's not as bearish as it once was because price is no longer below this downward trend line, which is a bullish sign, and price is above the prior support level of 366, which is a bullish sign. And also, we have this bullish trend line going on as well. So if this pullback, for example, was below the trend line, so let's say the trend line was something like right about here, and price did this two-legged pullback off the bullish trend line, something like this, and we stayed below the level. So if we did something like this, where we stayed below the support level and stayed below the trend line, that would be bearish, and most likely we're going to see another drop down lower. So something like that. But in this case, price pushed through the bearish trend line, pushed through the prior support, which was actually more recently resistance, and it's staying above it, which is a good sign. So it's pulling back, which is okay. It's not a big deal. If it drops back below, it's not a big deal either because we have this trendline support in the way, which we can rocket off of. And this might be just the final attempt for the bears to reach the measure move target lower. So it could just be a bear trap because the bears still are trying to reach the target. It's not invalidated until we see a break above these prior highs at the mid 400 all level. So this is all one leg down by the bears. Correction. You can say this is the first attempt, correction, second attempt. So they're trying multiple times to get there. Market moves and attempts, not guarantees. So the bears are still not giving up to reach the target, but there's a good chance they will get trapped at this price level right here because it's more bullish than bearish. This is bullish territory now. Before this was bearish territory. Now the bears are in the bulls territory. So there's a good chance that we don't see that much lower prices from MicroStrategy. Again, that's the base case. That's the most likely situation. If we do break down, again, I don't know the future. Somehow price was more bearish than it seemed. And if it does start picking up, then you know where it's headed. It's headed towards this trend line at the 330s, and then probably maybe even a break towards the measurement target of 240s. I don't think that's going to happen. Why couldn't price reach it over here, and all of a sudden we see a massive pullback back above the support? And then the bears are trying. It was easier for the bears to try it over here instead of over here. So you have to look at the price action, and you can see the strength between the buyers and sellers. Which one is stronger? Which one is weaker? Now let's take a look at the weekly chart. As you can see here, this week is looking bearish so far. We still have the rest of this trading day to finish, and then Thursday and Friday. Why am I doing my analysis right now? Well, it doesn't matter. Generally, if price starts out in the first hour or so in a downtrend or an uptrend or a range pattern, it kind of stays that same way. So sometimes the first hour will signify the rest of the day's price action. So it doesn't really matter. And obviously, I do these analysis every day. So again, a couple dollars here and there, even a $10, $20 swing is not a big deal. Overall, still looking very bullish above this macro trend line up, above the EMA, ready to push up higher. And again, I'm expecting the prior all-time high to be taken out. And then I'm expecting $1,500 to be reached. And then from there, maybe, just maybe, we might see $4,000 at the end of the cycle. The Bitcoin cycle, again, do I believe in cycles? Not necessarily. I'm more on price because things can take longer or shorter to reach a specific price. So I like to focus on price targets instead of time, because it could take a long time to get somewhere, or it could take very quickly to get somewhere. So I mostly focus on price. But time-based does work, especially if you do see it occurring over and over again. It just means that's the pace that the market is going at. So for example, let's say Bitcoin is in a 4-year cycle. Well, that just means every 4 years it's kind of moving at the same pace that it generally goes at. So it's moving at a similar pace. So MicroStrategy most likely will top out when Bitcoin tops out, maybe a little bit earlier, maybe a little bit later, but it doesn't matter. It'll probably be right around that area. So I'm expecting this all-time high to be taken out. I'm expecting $1,000 and then $1,500 and then maybe $4,000 at the end of the cycle. We'll have to wait and see how bullish this thing can get. Right now, it's slightly not correlated with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is near its all-time high, but MicroStrategy is not. Again, this is not an ETF, so you're going to definitely see some divergence going on and non-correlation, which is an opportunity for buyers, because Bitcoin's at its all-time high. This stock still has about 42% to get to its all-time high, and most likely it will. So, I mean, it presents an opportunity if you know what to look for and you're at the right time. So, that's all I have for MicroStrategy in the daily weekly charts today. Most likely I'll give you guys an update tomorrow. This is Vee Trades, and thank you for your time.